It's pretty much the same at some point. Um, I think what is missing, and we discussed in the previous panel and yesterday as well, the lack of capacity building. So we want to renovate whole healthcare around Europe, and we are not enough. So how we're going to do that? So one thing is to train people that are already in the cycle of healthcare on the different stakeholders and positions. So that's one thing. And one thing is to create new people that will create new professions. So I think the topic that John presented is more clear to the second, how to form people that will come and fill positions and new roles in a new connected society in healthcare, which was not the case 10 or 20 years ago. So this is something that we need to address very formally with curriculums, with universities and all these things, PhDs and research and all this stuff. The other topic, which I think is of interest of Shia, is how can we fast track the knowledge of people that are currently in the system, and that we have to address a huge amount of work on their shoulders to do, on one hand, the job that they have to do every day, plus the whatever digital transformation they will contribute or be forced to do. So, I mean, there is a difference there, because if they can contribute, obviously this is going to go better. If they are forced to do that, I mean, we're living in Greece, we see it all the time. They don't react very well to this type of transformation. So I think the approach of small things that you can create as a, let's say, manageable curriculum that you, at the end, somehow you manage to be accredited that you accomplished a training program would be a good idea. The other thing, I think, we should see the healthcare providers and the industry as a corporation. So it's a little bit American as a viewpoint, but because there is a lot of continuous education, and I think medical associations are doing that a lot, and they're giving, there's a credit CMS, or there's a credit model. So doctors are acquainted of doing continuous education. So I think that's one topic that we need to address. How do we add points to their continuous education programs so that they get credits for contributing? So I'm not so much well in the academic cycle anymore, but that's a point that we need to see. Now, we need to educate also, because we're talking about the regulation, the European data space. This is our environment. So we have to educate also the industry, which is also a huge issue. And there, in some countries, there is some requests that you need to train your employees in a regular basis, and you get some types of incentives like fiscal discounts and things like that. It's not harmonized across Europe, but we need to see how we can use SHIA for corporate training and do micro programs that could fit and educate software engineers, information architects, CTOs, chief medical officers in some cases. Some companies, they operate chief medical officers to consult the technical teams. So there are different roles there. So I think that's something that we need to see how we can contribute to that, I would say. How can we create something that can be adopted by companies? Bigger ones, it's much easier because they are somehow used to do that. Smaller companies that are, especially the innovative one, that is sometimes between one person to 20, 25, usually everybody is multitasking in such companies. They have the role of the programmer and the sales engineer in parallel, and they are doing customer presentation, which means the time they really have to educate themselves is very seldom. So, but this is the huge amount of companies. So if you want, because you try to say 100 companies in Greece, if you try to put it in practice, you will have in Greece 5 or maybe 10 big companies, and all the rest are less than 50 people, which means that they are pressured by the system, that everybody is working and working to be able to produce something to pay the salary. So it's like a chicken and the egg within the companies. So you really need to find ways to introduce this in the daily routine so that it doesn't put a lot of, because they won't be able to accommodate that. So I think Shia could innovate in that sense. And I'm really interested to see, and also potentially use Gnomon as a guinea pig in this process. Because one thing that even if we are a company that is working in the domain and in theory everybody is educated, if you go down in the more technical people, they are not educated. It's impossible to educate everyone. And some of them, they don't want to be educated. They say, I'm here just to do programming. I don't care about the universe. But in practice, if we manage to educate them and give them a goal and a vision why they are programming and how their work is reused, maybe that would be interesting to see this approach. Now, credits, I don't think they work the same way as in the medical associations for the industry. They have association, of course, so we could potentially reuse them and see what will be their opinion. But it's not, at least in Greece, it's not something that is working so well. And unfortunately, in Europe, there are no organizations like HIMSS that give professional certificates of subtype. So one idea would be to see through this micro training, if you do 20 courses or 40 courses of half an hour at the end of the day, and there is an online self-assessment methodology, because someone has to assess that they got the picture somehow, I don't know, an online questionnaire or something like that. Maybe they could get some type of an accreditation, like a personal paper that I was trained and now I am a certified professional for the European data space. I don't even know what that means, to be honest. So that's maybe another topic. What do we mean by that? What is an EHDS certified professional? So that's, I mean, is it technical? Is it procedural? Is it what it is?
It's all of it.
In fact, it's all of it. So maybe in theory, you will have to do more than one track of training, one for the very technical people, one for the salespersons, or the business development managers, or whatever. So maybe you need to trigger the interest of the different people. Otherwise, they won't follow so much. And again, we discussed a lot, and the Commission was present today. So from their side, they are willing to find ways to structure capacity building in a more organized way in Europe. They don't know how. So I guess Shia could be a good input to them and align them with, be a supportive mechanism, because people are lost with the multitude of projects, and at the end we don't even know which project is doing what. And yeah, some clarity to the people is needed, because we come with all our projects to the community of people that are doing real life implementations and software developments. And they don't see the difference between ExpandEH, XShare, or XTHR. For them, it's acronyms that they don't mean anything. And some people in Brussels, when we did the other meeting, that came there for the first time, and there were not many, but there were a few. And they were asking me, why do you need 3 projects to do the same thing? I said, no, we're not doing the same thing. But, you know, it's not clear. So we should not put Shia as the 4th, another project to do the same thing. So we need to brand it in a way that it's something different and something clear, especially if you want to address the industry. And I guess the doctors as well. And also the nurses, maybe? I don't know.
Yes.
So, thank you.
I'm cutting you.